Hey guys, now don't panic, this isn't going to get into another 30-minute soap opera. It's just a little bit of backstory and information before we get into the video. And this is my little love heart wand, my matching boingy antlers that I'm going to use in an ASMR video that I'm going to do after this. So I just thought I'd keep them on to jazz up the intro a little bit, seeing as this video has been a year to the day in the making. Yep, a year. Let me start with the basics first and then we can get into the story, because if I do it the other way around it's not going to make any sense. It probably won't make any sense anyway, but let's go. Firstly, Diego, the famous brewers. They make the booze and the drinky stuff. They have lots of distilleries dotted around the country. They have a lot in Scotland, and these three in particular that I'm going to talk about, they're all in close proximity to each other, and I mean they're literally within a mile of each other. They're all located in the district of Clackmannanshire, which is the crap hole I grew up in before I came to this crap hole. And the three distilleries, one is in Blackgrange, which is a massive industrial place. One is in a tiny town of Cambus, and this town is so tiny that 60-70% of the town itself is the distillery. And the other one is located in the town of Menstrie, which is small but not quite so small. That's the one I went to, Menstrie. That's the one I went to today and last year. And Menstrie is also incidentally the next town over from my hometown where I grew up. So there's some useless information for you. But so these sirens, they all appear to be Hörmann ECN 500s. Baby Hörmanns with the 4 horns. But let me tell you, size don't matter, that's all I'm going to say. Every Diego that I've came across in Scotland so far, even the one up in Leven, it's all 500s, ECN 500s that they've got. So I think that's like the default siren, but I'm not sure. And these sirens get tested on the 1st February of... What? The 1st February of every Saturday, I was going to say. And even then I got it wrong, because it's the 2nd Saturday, not the 1st February. I'm sorry, I do genuinely believe I'm slightly intoxicated, because we were parked up right in the middle of the complex and they were transporting all the booze from the big tanks into the trucks, and the smell was overpowering. And I can literally still taste yeast up my nose. I'm not even joking. So bear with me. On the 2nd Saturday of every February, yes, that's right, between 10 AM and 5 PM is when these sirens get tested at these 3 distilleries. And they get tested by Coma, which is basically their version of our MICC that we've got here. I've never understood that with these major industrial places. When there's a real incident, these places can activate the sirens themselves. Obviously they have to, because that's the fastest way to do it and alert people. But yet when it comes to testing them, they're not allowed to press the button. Someone from a committee has to come from miles and press the button for them. It seems like a wasted journey. I don't know, I don't get that, but anyway. That's what they do. They come round individually to all these distilleries and set the sirens off on the 2nd Saturday of every February. And last year I went to the same siren, the same day. Yeah, a little bit later though, and that was the problem. I didn't get there till 11 o'clock last year. And my cousin at the time, she lived in Cambus, and the distillery backed onto her house basically. So she said she didn't hear the siren, so we thought, oh, it's okay, we're late, but we haven't missed it because nobody's heard it. What we should have done is what we did today. Go up to security right away and ask them and tell them why we're there, then we would have known. But no, we didn't. We sat there from 11 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night in a snowstorm, freezing cold in the car, bursting for the toilet, only to learn that we had missed the test, because what had happened is it had got to 4:30 at night and I was thinking, I better get out and start filming, because I didn't know that I'd missed it, and I thought, well, this must be ready to go off, it must go off at 5 o'clock then. I'd got out and I'd started filming, waiting for it to activate, and that's when this female security guard came out, and she didn't come to me, she went right past me and went right to my friend's car and started filming it and taking pictures of the registration. And she was like, it's just in case anything happens here tonight. And I was like, I beg your pardon? Do we look like international brewery terrorists? We're only here for the siren, because we know it's tested today. And she went, oh, that went off at 10 o'clock on the dot today. That was another one of those heart in the pants moments. We endured all that trauma. And I tell you, that was a horrible time in our lives last year, but that day in particular stands out. And even being back there today was triggering the PTSD that I tried to repress. But the smell of the booze was kind of neutralising it, so it's fine. But in all seriousness, it was a horrible day. We got nothing out of it. We didn't get to film the siren. That's why I've never spoke of it until now. I thought there's no point. I'll leave it as a surprise to next year, aka today, till I can get back there and hopefully, by the grace of the universe, get this bloody siren filmed. And eventually we did. So we got there really early today, 9:45. We went and spoke to security right away, which is what we should have done last year. And I tell you, to say that this guy is a diamond in the rough is an understatement. This guy was the kindest, most helpful, nicest guy you could ever want to meet. And if more people were like him in public service, the world would be a better place. We went up and spoke to him, explained why we were there, explained what happened last year, and he was totally cool. He said, we can film, we can take pictures, there's nothing, we're not doing anything wrong, we're out in public. And he even said that park up next to the security hut in the car and sit and wait, where we'll be safe away from the road. And now, we had heard the Black Grange and the canvas sirens getting tested not long after we arrived. Well, about 40 minutes after we arrived. And so we knew that Coma was up there testing them, and they went off about 5 minutes within each other. So Coma must have jumped straight from one to the other. And now, bearing in mind, all these three plants are like within a mile of each other. But this security guy kept having to phone them up for us because they couldn't give him a time when they were going to get to Menstrie. And at one point, he was that nice, he even said, right, why don't you guys go for a wee drive around or that and give me your number and I'll phone you when the guy from Coma gets here to activate it, and you can come back before it gets activated. But we said, no, we'll just stay put. We're taking zero chances this time. No. Not going through that hell again. So we just waited. And this guy kept phoning him up and trying to find out, get an update where they were. Because time was getting on. And he kept coming back out into the car coming up to the car every so often out of his little hut and giving us updates. That's how nice this guy was. And it got to almost 2 hours. And we were thinking, oh no, it's happening again. We were thinking, those two sirens, when even the security guy was starting to get confused, because those two sirens went off within 5 minutes of each other. And yet it took them an hour and a half to get down the road to Menstrie. I think they were in a bloody coma. Honestly, I was starting to brick it at one point. I was thinking, it's history, the curse of Thunderchild strikes again. Never mind the curse of Mr. Bean. Christ, it's nothing on the curse of Thunderchild, but I was thinking, they've all gone off. We're hitting the 2 hour mark now, and there's no sign of coma. I was like, to be fair, it's it doesn't look in the best of health, but I realise that's just because it's dirty. The siren and the sign, as you'll see in the video, was so dirty. You can't even read the sign and the siren. They're meant to be silver, those horns. And they're brown. They're rusted and brown. But as I say, despite its condition and the fact that it's tiny, that don't count for anything. But eventually, the guy from Coma shows up and activates the siren, and we got it, guys. A year in the making, but finally, we got it. And as I say, I just want to thank this security guard again, in case by chance he ever comes across this video. And I'm sure he'll remember the crazy siren chick with the red hair. I know I said thank you 1,000 times, but again, and I want all my subscribers to salute this man and thank him as well, because he is truly a gem. So, thanks again. And right guys, on that note, it is time, finally, the 365 days, unless there's been a leap year and I've missed one, I can now finally introduce to the world of YouTube a Thunderchild exclusive, the first time ever, I hope, documented activation of Diego Menstry's Hörmann ECN 500 and the other two. Right guys, let's magically cut to the video. Okay, so this will either be the ambience of Black Grange or Canvas. I don't know which one came first, but at least we got them. Oh wait, the wee security guy is coming back out. Is he going to come back over and speak to us?
Let's not wait for somebody else coming.
Oh, for Christ's crying out loud!
Don't get too excited, it's not happening just yet. So when the next car comes, it won't be.
It better! Oh, for crying out loud.
Testing, testing, testing. This is a test of the Diageo site warning system. No action required. Repeat. No action required. End of test. End of test. Thank you for your cooperation.
Finally, a year in the making to get this. A year in the making. I think my friend had a decibel meter running when that was done. Now, how many did you say it was?
83, between 83 and 85 decibels.
83 and 85. That surprised me. What a power that's got. That's stronger than our big ones. What a strength that's got. That's on par with Wraith and Strother, that, for an electronic one. Jesus. I just wanted to say thank you for... Thank you very much for letting us... that's got some power in it for a tiny wee siren.
It does, aye.
We've got giant versions of them in Grangemouth for the refinery and they're not even that loud. That surprised me. That was awesome.
Aye.
Well worth the wait. Thanks very much for that, pal.
I'm
Thanks.
glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks. Really appreciate that. Thanks.